Yeah, I'll pray, and like I said, I've got a few things to cover, and I'm sure Jess will share a few thoughts. Jesus, we love you. We love you, Lord Jesus. We thank you for the thank you. I can't believe how many times I thank you for technology. It sometimes is a pain. It sometimes is a distraction, and then times like this, it's such a blessing to be able to be together and to span time zones, continents, hemispheres, and still be able to speak to each other and to sense your presence because you said where two or more are gathered in your name, you're in our midst. And so we thank you. We thank you for your presence. We thank you that you love us, that you pursue us, um, and that, man, you are just so good to us. So we pray that you just bless this evening, bless this time. Um, yeah, give us the right words to say. I just pray that people who listen or even rewatch this, that they would be encouraged, that they would be encouraged and that they would be blessed by what you're doing here in Bolivia and in South America. So we just give you all the glory, honor, and praise, Lord Jesus. You're worthy. You're worthy. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so we are coming up on it'll be 2 years here in Bolivia in July. So that it's been a minute. I think the last time we got together on a call like this to talk about what's been going on was as actually I looked back on it to see, and it was early December, and so a lot of things have happened since then, and I kind of wanted to just go through and just give some highlights for the last 4 months. My intention and my goal going forward is to try to have a call like this once every 3 months. So 4 times a year would be like ideal for me to be able to get on here and just kind of share what's been going on. And part of that is because I really feel not an obligation, but I feel I don't even know what the word is right now. I feel like it's important for us to just be responsibility. Yeah, I feel a responsibility to just talk about what's going and how we're stewarding this mission because we are funded by many people that are on this call, watching this call. And so we want to make sure that you understand like what we're doing and what that looks like. And so the Lord's been so good to us. And so we'd like to thank everybody that partners with us first in prayer more than anything because I can't tell you like we go into the prison a lot and I don't ever feel scared. I don't ever feel like worried about anything when I go into a prison. I don't feel scared or worried when I travel. Um, and I know that a large part of that, the majority of that, is that there are people that are praying for us daily. Lots of friends and lots of family that say, "Yep, we've got your magnet on the fridge." And every single time someone comes over, we talk about you guys and we talk about what you're doing, and we tell them stories about, you know, whether we minister to them or whether we minister together. They tell stories, and so we first of all, thank you for prayers, and we also thank you for financially supporting. Our goal I think, coming into living here, our goal was to raise between $600 to $800 a month to live here. Um, Money here has been very different. The currency here is not very stable. It fluctuates quite a bit. And so there's an advantage to, there's some advantages to that because if you have dollars, your dollars go a lot farther than they would if we were just using bank exchange rates. But if we bring dollars, we obviously get more. So there's a benefit for that, but there's also the negative part of what's really becoming. I don't know if it's a recession. I'm not an economist, but there's becoming an unstable market with the currency here, which means the regular price of goods is going up. To give you an idea, a piece of bread normally would cost half a Boliviano. So for one Boliviano, you get 2 pieces of bread. And right now that's going to, I literally just saw it on the news yesterday in the prison, 6 pieces of bread for 5 Bolivianos. So you can see it's almost doubled in price for the price of bread. Now for me as an American, that's not crazy. We're talking about exchange rates here. We're talking about less than 10 cents for 2 pieces of bread. But you can just imagine, like, if we're talking about something as simple as bread, how that kind of influences the rest of the market, right?
Well, and when a Bolivian family of even 5 live on 300 Bolivianos a month, every cent counts.
Yeah.
And so for them, it's really been hard to get their kids to and from school, to buy groceries, to pay for stuff. So it's been.
Yeah. And so that you can imagine that causes a lot of, I mean, you guys, especially those in the States, because we've gone through kind of this up and down roller coaster of economic instability. And I know my friends in the other parts of South America have experienced the same. And so it's nothing new to anybody, but I say all that to tell you that the Lord is faithful. And our donations so far this calendar year, since January, have averaged $1,200 a month. So we're talking well above where our goal has been. And what's been really cool is that's actually allowed us then to take the excess and do a lot more giving. So there's a lot of giving that we then are able to do. We're able to right now support missionaries who left our base here. Our good friends, Boris and Paola, they are now in Concepcion, which is about 6.5 hours away from us. It's a small pueblo of about 3,500 to 4,000 people. And they are trying to now start a ministry there and start a community there. And so we're able to actually support them on a monthly basis. We're also able to give a lot more generously to just families within our community that need things like groceries, that need things like clothes or school supplies for their kids, as well as to be able to bless people that we like, our friends and brothers and sisters that are in the prison with things like clothes. And just practical examples, literally yesterday, actually it was Thursday night, we bought diapers and powdered milk, and then I took it into the prison on Friday for one of the gals in the prison who's out of diapers and doesn't have milk for her baby. So like those are things that like real ways that extra money is being used, and then it's also being funded into travel. So obviously it costs money to travel to other parts of the country, whether it's by taking buses, which we do. The last couple of times we've gone to Concepcion, we've actually taken a bus there and back, just because it's sometimes it's easier and it's more comfortable to just sit back on a bus and and take that rather than drive, like having to drive or help drive or be in a small vehicle. So there's expenses. There's obviously expenses to fly to other parts of South America, and there's expenses to come back to the States to be able to do visits and things like that. So anything that's extra is actually going into those funds. And for reporting, I don't even love talking about these things, but there's a gift. This is crazy. There's a spiritual gift in Romans 12 of administration. So obviously the Lord cares about these things, about administering well. Otherwise he wouldn't have listed it as a gift, right? So it's a gift to the church to be able to administer. And that's not a gift of mine. It is a gift of John's. But I'm trying to walk in what the Lord's led us to. So anything extra, it gets funded in there. We actually have to report to Iris Global, who is our the missionary organization that we are a part of. So we actually have to report every quarter our financial record. So what we receive in donations and where it gets spent. And it's fun when plane tickets and things like that are purchased, and then there's like a negative for 1 month, and then the next month it just wipes out because people give. It's such a different way to think about miracles sometimes, and just the miraculous faithfulness even of friends, families, and even people that we don't even really know that have given. So all that to say, the Lord is really blessing the our financial needs as well as obviously our spiritual needs through prayer. Okay. Some things that have happened since we last talked. We moved into a new place. So we were living in a like 230 square foot room with a shared bathroom, a shared shower, kitchen downstairs that was all shared, lots of shared living space. And now we are in a 2 bedroom with a living room, a kitchen, and 1 bathroom little house. It's about, I think it's about maybe 700 square feet, the entire house. So I think we've tripled in size of our space, but we did move in here with Alejandra. I wanted to like put up a picture so you guys could see Alejandra. She's 21. She's 21, so she is actually like right in between, like she is our son's age, right? Like which is crazy to think about. And she's kind of like we jokingly call her, she's our Bolivian daughter. So so she has we actually gave her the bigger room because we had a guest that was with us for a while, and then there's times that her younger siblings like to come and stay as well, and so then there's extra space for them to have like another bed or a mattress on the ground. And we took the smaller room, which is totally fine. We don't need a lot. It's funny how you go from like being in a big, I remember just literally 4 years ago being in a 2,700 square foot home before we sold it, and like, right, got moving over to here. So the Lord's so good, guys. So we have our own kitchen. We have like our bathroom, which is literally right next door. We don't have to like walk out into a hallway or anything like that. We don't have to worry about it. Someone, you know, anyway, it's nice. It's especially the kitchen, I think, to be able to cook meals regularly and cook meals together with Ali. It's been super good, and we've been able to invite her family over several times to share meals with us. Her family lives just it's about 8 blocks, about 6 or 8 blocks away from us. So it's about like a 10-minute walk. So it's really cool to be able to have her family over at times as well. And be able to have space in the living room to have her, sit down and relax. Jess has been doing women's a women's time every week, where the women in the community just gather, and they usually share some sort of little treat, a little refresco, and they're able to open up and kind of talk about what's been going on in their lives, what the Lord's been doing. And so that's super cool to have space to be able to do that in community. We've also I don't know if you want to talk about that.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I can, yeah.
Yeah.
We opened a beauty salon. It was part of our desire is to have a place that, like, when the women come out, or the men, when they come out of the prison, and we have people that come and stay with us, we want them to be able to have a place where they can kind of train, they can acquire some skills that will benefit them. And so we had extra space with the new building, and so we opened a beauty salon. We have a girl that is coming, that should be starting with us soon. And we have a couple ladies in the prison as well that like are excited to come and kind of learn and be a part of that. And I think at some point we wanna start like maybe a fundraiser or something for girls that want to learn more. Because I am skilled in those areas. I am not a teacher.
Trained professional, not necessarily a trained trainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we want to be able to send them to school while they're working in the salon to be able to like really acquire some professional skills. And so at some point we will probably look into fundraising some kind of thing for that. But yeah, as of right now, we're just getting up and going, trying to drum up some clients and
Yeah.
make it.
Right
make it a
now,
thing.
lots of guys haircuts for John and I and Judah.
Right now it's me doing haircuts for the community.
Yeah, which is like
Which is-
super beautiful.
Yeah.
And amazing. So there just to kind of come back to there's things that we've sewn into that as well. So we've sewn in financially into that as well as the Browns. Originally to start it off, we gave some money and then they matched what we gave. And so it was really cool to be able to then go and buy all the barber chairs and just all the stuff that needs to be done to fill that space and then decorate it as well. Okay, here we go. Since January, because we did have like about a 2 week period, 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks almost, where we weren't able to go into the prison while we were renewing our credentials. And then there's also been things like sickness, and there's times that they're doing audiencias, so they're actually having like judges go in and try to finish cases and things like that. But we've been able to visit. I gave an estimate of about 50 prison visits since the beginning of the year. We've now made 3 trips to the Campo, which is going to Concepcion. We've hosted an American that came and stayed with us for 90 days.
Yeah,
So
she was an intern here for 3 months.
So we had an intern for 90 days here that we hosted. We also had a French gal that came and stayed with us for 10 days, which was super cool and encouraging, and lots of wonderful, delicious French food as well. There were benefits for sure. But no, she's super sweet, and we've been able to stay connected as well to both those visitors. We hosted an American team. This is one of the more recent things. We hosted an American team from Boise. 12, it was 11 adults and one almost teenager, one 11-year-old that came and stayed for a week with us. And that meant doing different outreaches, prison visits, some different teachings that at least one that I did, and then we all kind of did some teaching together as well, and some equipping.
We had a Brazilian team come before that too.
Yeah, the Brazilian team was since the last. I was trying to keep up updates since the last call, but yeah, right before the last update call, we did also have a Brazilian team that came and stayed for a week. What else? Okay, we continue to do to be available for online deliverance and prayer, as well as just meeting with people. I know Jessica had a meeting yesterday with a friend of ours, and obviously that's how I met different people like our friend Yao here, and we've also made some connections. It's crazy. The Lord just started giving us connections. I don't I don't know how many, if you've watched our last update call or remember it, I gave a testimony about one of the leaders in Iris, two of the guys in Iris prophesying over us during a training. And one of the things that both of them said, it's weird when you call it prophecy because like the Lord had already spoken it to us, but it was definitely, they didn't know, and they were saying what the Lord was putting on their hearts, and it was exactly what the Lord had already told us. It was total confirmation. Um, and they said, hey, one thing we feel like Bolivia is a place for you to come, for you to heal, for you to be equipped. And then it's going to be like really a springboard for you to be going and ministering to the rest of South America. And then it was like literally within maybe a month or two since that time, since that last call we had, we started having these connections. So we made a connection with a brother in Honduras, with one in Argentina, with others that are our Brazilian friends that had come and visited. We still have some connections with them. So it's really cool, like how the Lord is already bringing to fulfillment things that He's been speaking to us, and then He was confirming to us just as like back in November of this last year. So less than 6 months, we're already seeing fulfillment of where the Lord's been leading us. And so that kind of comes to that next part. We talked about it before the recording of this call, really, but one thing that the Lord's got going for us here coming up is coming into a trip next month to Argentina, and so we're super excited about that. I think one of the reasons we're excited is there's a lot that we have to give, that the Lord's really been putting on our hearts and on our minds to share and to give. But even more than that, like I think because we know that the Lord has called us to South America, and He has called us to minister to many countries within South America. Um, there's something in it that I know the Lord is going to do in us when we go. It is not just we're going to give and we are going to serve, but that the Lord is really going to start to birth something in us when we hit the ground there in Argentina. And so there's a lot of excitement for me in that. I don't know why, like we love Latin culture. We love Latin America. I love Spanish speakers, but the Lord continues to connect us to English speakers that live in Spanish countries. And that's like, it's the craziest thing. It really is a weird, crazy thing. Um, some other just quick highlights. I have one more quick highlight. I actually preached twice at the International Church here in Bolivia, so that's something. Um, I was surprised that I got asked back for a second time. I have not been asked back for a third time yet. So we'll see. We'll see. Uh, we have some great connections there. I joke about it, but we really have some amazing connections at the International Church here. And it's yeah, they're a beautiful community, and the Lord's really doing a lot of just kind of changing and shifting um, the way that they see doing church, trying to build a community and not just a bunch of people that gather on a Sunday.
Mhm.
The Lord's really trying to bring together a community there. So it's exciting to get to be a very small part of that. And by that I mean like a lot of what we end up doing is encouraging some of the leadership. So there's not always a lot of direct influence that we have like on the congregation necessarily. Obviously, if I get to preach, like there's something being communicated to everybody. But more than that, we have a really good friendship with some of
The two like main guys that take care of the church lead. The one of the worship leaders, and then the other one is he's kind of in charge of the church, has a big influence in what goes on.
And so I know my uncle's been through this, but this church has now been in the pastor search for June will be a year. So they're coming up. It actually started before June. So they started looking before the last pastor left because they knew there was going to be a transition. So they're about a year, almost a year into the pastor search. And they have been through it before where I think they went over 3 years without a pastor at one point. And there's some really beautiful things happening though, because there's a lot of individuals that are stepping up and actually being the church instead of relying on one person to just that everybody just depends on the one guy.
Mhm.
And so there's some really beautiful things happening there, and that we're blessed to be a small part of it. We don't get to go every Sunday. We try to go at least once a month or more if possible, because we want to be able to stay connected. But for us, it's hard because Sundays are um, the culture here is people work generally 6 days a week, 5 full days that are like long days, like 12 plus hour days sometimes. And then Saturday is generally like a half day of work. And then Sunday is when everybody's free. So if you're trying to reach people that generally aren't going to church or that are in a prison, right? Like those are the times that you have to be willing to meet with people and to go to people that may or may not be ready to go into a church. And so there's some challenges there for us. And then we actually have been doing probably, when did we start doing Sunday night? It was probably like October or November. So it's probably been probably just before the last update call. We started doing a Sunday night. We don't call it a church service, but it's what it is. We are the church. We're a community, but we have an open night on Sunday nights where we gather and we worship, and we spend time through the week praying to receive what to do during that time. It doesn't look like a normal church service at all. It looks a lot like probably like most people have recognized like a small group gathering where you have maybe like 10 to 20 people sitting in a circle together sharing testimony or reading scripture together and then talking about what the Lord's been speaking to them through the word, singing obviously, and ministering to each other through prayer and through, I mean, like washing each other's feet, like just things that like you don't normally see on a Sunday morning, right? And that's not to say anything that's done in a church on a Sunday morning is bad. It's just that how do you build community? What are like the best ways to build community? It's when you can really spend time with each other, when you can really spend time face to face with people. Um, and so that's kind of where our heart is, and I know where John and Carly's heart is for this space is really loving people through an atmosphere that creates family. It's why we're called Iris or Iris Gran Familia. We're a big family, and we're trying to help invite people into family. And this country especially it's family is hard. Family is difficult. Um, the vast majority of families are not like mom and dad are married. Like marriage is kind of rare. If you see a couple that are married, it's kind of a big deal. We see it and we're like, it's shocking a lot of times. Because some people will just be together and not actually legally be married, and that happens a lot. And so you can imagine that dads aren't always around or they have multiple families, and alcoholism is really addiction in this country is very bad, whether it's alcohol or it's any other drugs. So yeah, family's hard, and so we try to love people in a way that they can feel it, that they can feel that they are loved and known and seen, and then invite them into family. um, and so we do things like we go into prisons and we we share meals with homeless people lots of times. We share meals with with our community. We try to do things that create space for people to feel like family. So, yeah. What do you got? Where did I cover it all for you?
I think you covered
it. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. We will be coming back to the States for a visit. We'll be heading back in July, actually. So end of July, this is kind of fun. We will be heading to South Carolina first. I think it'll be my first time in South Carolina. I'm not sure.
Be mine for sure.
So we'll be flying into to South Carolina, and we get to spend 5 days with our friends it is a Russian Ukrainian family of I think they're on
11 or 12.
I think they have 11, and the wife is pregnant with the 12th. And they're like some of like while we were spending a year in the States preparing to come here, really living our life on mission in the States. There are a couple that the Lord connected us with. They're just super dear to us. We used to make trips to Washington to spend time with them. And so now they're in South Carolina. We're going to go visit them and just love on them and hang out with. We love their kids. We actually have all of their kids' birthdays in our calendar on our phones, and so it pops up and it tells us like it's their birthday, and then we send them a voice message and we sing them happy birthday. And I think one time it was like almost midnight, and the mom like sent us a message. It was like, one of the girls is asking if you're gonna send them a birthday song. They've been waiting all day. Like we're like, oh no. So it's just super sweet. We're looking forward to spending time with them. And then from there, we actually are going to do a little road trip. We're going to drive from South Carolina to to Franklin, Tennessee. It's just right outside of Nashville. And we're going to spend, I think it's like 5, 7, 8 days. It's like about a week. We're going to spend at a Iris Global. It's basically like a missionary family reunion. So we have missionaries coming from all over the world into a campground there. We're gonna spend time worshiping and being ministered to and ministering to others and hearing the word and just doing fun things and fun little activities together. And it's kind of a time to come and refresh. And so the organization pays for all of that. We just have to get there. So while we're there in the States, we decided we should probably go and see our kids. So we'll also be flying over and see my mom. And so we'll also be flying over to Boise and spending the month of August in the Nampa, Boise area, visiting friends and family, and maybe making some extra trips. We'll see what the Lord has for us there. And then we'll be back here beginning of September. One of these years we'll actually get to spend winter here. we keep leaving winter here to go to summer there. And so then it just feels like our whole year is summer.
Which is funny because we do not really like the summer.
we don't love the heat. But it's been beautiful. Like there's been a crazy amount of rain this year for us here. It's been very, very abnormal, and it's been very mild. It has not been super hot. It has been very humid, but not super hot. So it's actually, we've been very blessed with the climate here this last year. Yeah. So yeah, so then from there we'll be back here, and yeah, hopefully planning to be able to make a trip to Honduras this year. We would like to do that. We'd like to get to Brazil at some point as well. We have kind of open invitations to visit different mission bases there in Brazil. And so we're hoping to plan that, and obviously make a lot of more trips to Concepcion and different parts of Bolivia as well. So that's our Q1 Q1 update for 2025. Thanks for listening, and joining us in this time, and just keep praying for us, keep praying for this upcoming trip next month, at the end of May 22nd through, I believe it's the 27th or the 28th. You can be praying for that time. Be praying for our friends in Concepcion, continue to pray for them. That the Lord just continues to lead and guide them. There's been lots of beautiful, beautiful things. Just continue to pray for Palma Sola, that's the prison here, and especially for the brothers and sisters, those who have been born again in the prison. There are real challenges there for them. There are real temptations there for them, and learning how to walk as a son and a daughter of the Most High God is it's difficult. It's difficult in life normal, but then you put them into a prison where it's full of corruption and temptation. It's even worse, right? It's even harder. So continue to pray for them. Yeah, continue to pray that the Lord keeps speaking to us and keeps guiding our paths and directing us on where to go. And yeah. So we love you guys, and we thank you for your prayers and your continued support. Yeah. God bless.